and Rewiring. Just gonna mute. So you guys missed that?
Did you miss us? Did you? Did you?
So, for those of you who don't know, because I have a lot of new subscribers, I am Chris Ashburn, death midwife, tarot reader, intuitive spiritual mentor, and this is the lovely Joey Morris,
Bold
who is
creator.
the creatrix of many things.
Bold.
Yes, mainly
Madam of spiritual goods.
Yes, the madam of spiritual goods. Who makes balls? Yes. And today, well, go ahead, Joey, if you want to say anything about yourself, because I know like your shop is on pause right now and everything.
The store is available to people. I run Starry Eyed Supplies for anyone who does not know. I've been posting that I am in an in-between space right now. There is details on Facebook for those people who are Facebook friends with me. I'm not going to go into any more depth on YouTube. Yeah. The store is available, but things will be delayed by at least a couple of weeks while I go get situated because I'm moving. So there's that.
Yep. All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about truth in the shadow, which seems very appropriate lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have both been dealing with shadows, and a lot of people around us have very heavily lately, like in your face kind of dealing.
Happy summer.
Yeah. Happy summer, bring the light and the death.
have some shadow issues. Boom.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to talk about that. First, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Joey does not have the chat on her end, so I'm going to let her know who all's here. We have Debbie, Pixie Dew, Cynthia Shelley, Gothic Arcana, Now It's So Vivid, Amaryllis, Briar, Scarlet Rose, Christina D is here, Magpie's here. Hi, Magpie.
Hello.
Crystal Moon and Courtney.
Hello, everybody. I'm on the iPad today, so I can't see you all, but I love your faces because I'm still in Chris's lines.
She's taking my lines now. Yeah. You don't have a line that I can take. That's not fair. Like, I was just like, what should I take? Oh, no, I'm going to have to take Stay True and Stay Awesome because that's not even hers, but by extension.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
By extension. Anyway. Truth and the shadow.
In that voice.
It was a little bit of Julia Child. Don't worry about it.
Okay. We've gone off to a fabulous start with this live stream.
Yes. There might be a lot of silly because we haven't been able to be on live stream in a little bit. And so there's some silliness backup going on. See, now It's So Vivid says, Chris, tell Joey her hair looks amazeballs in that light.
Oh, thank you.
It does. It looks like it's on fire.
This is what happens when the color fades out. So when I dye it purple, it's much darker, and then the color fades out to this. So.
But it's a pretty fade. I mean, there are definitely horrible, worse things that it could fade to.
I had a woman tap me on the shoulder when I was walking down the village, and she's I just want to tell you your hair looks like it's on fire, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it's on fire. All right. So, Joey, do you want to start us off on the kind of where to go with this, where you were thinking?
Truth and shadow.
Yes. Bridge that in.
There's been, without going into too much detail, there's been a lot going on in my life, and there's been a lot going on in, like, I know Chris's life and other people's who've been close to us, and it's really been about lessons of facing up to truths and your truth, and like universal truth even, and then shadow stuff that comes with it, like the fear that comes with it, the parts of yourself which are trying to hold you back and try and freak you out and try and stop you from going where you need to go or being who you want to be, and that sort of thing. Like you're trying to be your highest, best self, trying to elevate, and the shadow kind of rears its head like,
but there's also this. Did you think of these things?
Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of that lately. Like a lot of people have had a lot of different but quite similar scenarios that have led to kind of like this collective shadow that's been going on, and it's very much about what's holding you back from personal empowerment, like what's holding you back from your place of power, and you know, and that can mean different things to different people, and sometimes people say power's like a dirty word or whatever, but it's not. It's what you do with it. But
who says power is a dirty word? That's a wonderful word.
Some people don't like power, do they? They're like, it means greed and corruption and blah blah blah, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It's what you do with it. Because being empowered,
it's how you wield it.
Yeah.
I mean, any sword is just a sword. It's how you wield it.
For sure, I agree.
Also, I want to let you know that you're getting a bunch of love in the chat. Random is all capsing, Random Witch, and she's like, I missed you so much. And Joy, we all love you so much. I know it's hard right now, but the path you are on is so worth being free and being in a place of love and a safe haven that you deserve.
Thank you.
So you're getting a bunch of love from, and it's not just her. There's a bunch of people that are like, yeah. You know, Core Moonright's here. She says hello, loves. Also, they are now singing This Girl Is on Fire.
Totally. That's how I'm compelling myself across the country, just so you all know.
Yeah. Christina says, I second what Random Witch said. Yeah. So
we can talk about the shadows that have come up because of that.
Shadows.
If we can, I came into this chat fully knowing that I'm going to talk about the shadows that I've been going through recently and that are quite raw. So it's going to be kind of a raw chat, but for shadow, we kind of have to be. We can't dance around.
Well, it's a good thing
shadows.
we've got backed up silly.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to temper this.
Yep. So I'll talk about, like, if anyone was on Facebook last night, people will know I had a panic attack yesterday. And I was hyperventilating and stuff. And it came from a place of fear and shadow. And I had to basically face up to some of the most difficult parts of my shadow that hold me back from going forward before I could go forward. And that will be in a couple of days that I will be going forward. So I kind of had to deal with it. And the main one is kind of like a fear of being happy, like what's going to come along and sabotage this happiness, because something always does. And do I just even deserve to be this happy and things like that? And it all comes into this horrible, like, it's kind of like the imposter syndrome we talked about last time we were chatting, and it comes into that, and it kind of like, and it's just, because it just blows my mind into a billion pieces, and it's not good. Because I have been in, unfortunately, what usually happens with shadow is you've been through situations which kind of confirm this to you for some reason or another. So I've been in situations where I've nearly been happy and then somebody messed it up for me, or some situation messed it up for me, and it was taken away from me, and then I felt like I ended up with nothing. And unfortunately, I've been through that. I've lived through it. So that kind of like backs up shadow. Like, yeah, you know that this can happen, so it's always going to happen, isn't it? And you have to like find a place where you're trusting in something better, and like love, basically. Love is the answer.
Love is
for
all
going forward. Love is the thing, you know. So yeah. So that's the big one I've been dealing with lately, is like, and unfortunately, like, there've been people coming out of the woodwork who kind of like been almost like shadow pokers, like, you don't deserve this, or you know, this isn't real, this isn't true, blah blah blah. And it's been kind of hard in some ways to even deal with that. Like, the minute you're happy, there are people coming out the woodwork who want to like destroy it, and you're like, that's about your shadow, not mine, but okay. So yeah, that's the shadow I've been dealing with most recently.
Yeah, I I mean, I've watched it, and I second. First of all, I second what's in chat because chat is all saying like, "Joey, you're a warrior, and you're so strong, and we all support you," and like that general sentiment is being echoed repeatedly. Um, but I totally get being afraid of being happy, which people I feel like don't address that often. Everybody's afraid of failing, right? They'll talk about that, but they won't talk about actually being afraid of succeeding, being afraid of finding it and
getting what you want. Yeah,
being fully happy, and then what? Then what? Because we've lived so long in this space of want. What happens when we want no more? Do we want other things? Will there be more, or should we feel guilty for wanting more because now we've finally gotten the thing that we did want? Then you're wanting too much.
Yeah. And that some spiritual people are like, you shouldn't want more. You should just be grateful for what you have. And that kind of irritates me a little bit because it's like you need the drive to keep evolving, to keep seeking, to keep bettering, to keep doing what it is that you're doing, because the world needs more of that, not less. So
yeah. I feel like it goes back into the whole like being too much thing.
Making yourself small.
Yeah, which you've recently posted a blog about.
We posted, but yeah, it's a slightly older one. Yeah.
But yeah.
So that was Ditch Being Small Witch, which is available via the Bad Witches website, but you can find it on my Facebook page. So I talked about the fact that a lot of spiritual practitioners, they seek to make themselves small because they want to make other people feel comfortable around them. And we can make ourselves small in all kinds of ways. And what I'm actually writing about now, sneak peek, is wearing our shadow as a mask so we hide who we truly are. And that can be kind of making us small and or aggressive in order to hide who we are and what we're afraid of. So there are people who, and we've all done it, that wear their shadow on their face and they're like, well, I disapprove of whatever you're doing, and it can get nasty. And what it actually is it triggers something in your shadow. Either you're not behaving yourself in a good way, maybe, and you know that you're being shady, and so you're trying to like offset that by somebody else pointing out what's wrong with someone else, or you're jealous of someone else, so you're trying to like make out that something is wrong with a different scenario, and rather than deal with where your jealousy is coming from. And like wearing a shadow like a mask is something that I'm talking about and writing about now, and it'll be in a week or two, and I'll release it. So
yeah, I had an experience that was kind of along those lines this weekend with everything with Father's Day. And for those of you who don't know, my father died about 2 years ago, a little over. And we hosted Father's Day for my husband's family at the house. And I was super sensitive, and I knew I was, because all I wanted was just to like fully introvert and go cocoon mode and just watch a dumb feel-good movie and lay there with my cat in the dark. But I was very raw, and I knew that. And I knew that because of my own stuff, I had a lot of knee-jerk reactions going on. And so I was trying to hold that back, and I think that's why I wanted to sit alone in a big part, because I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to accidentally or inadvertently. I wanted to cocoon myself because I knew, I mean, you know, when a wild animal is hurt, they hide and lick their wounds. And I knew that was part of my shadow surfacing and lashing out. Um, it didn't end up with me breaking down crying, which started a whole thing. But
which is what happens when our shadows really get
yeah,
us.
because it's a yeah.
We need the break and the release if when we're not dealing with it. That's kind of what happens with shadow. Like if you don't, if you're not on top, well, can you even be on top of it? Maybe you always need the break. Maybe the break is the process.
You know, and that's a thing. That's actually something that I was thinking. So after all of this, I had to go to work. So I'm going to work with puffy, swollen, red eyes and just like a mess. And I'm driving there and I realized like I have tears coming down my face and I'm okay with it. Like, I mean, I'm not okay because obviously I'm crying, but I'm okay with the fact that this is where I am. And I thought about how far I've come in these 2 years in terms of showing emotion.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, yeah, let's do this over again. But at the same time, there is something about finally being comfortable sitting in that raw space. It's like being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it's like when I've talked about I have to sit in my fear and sort of talk to my fear and be my fear and then let my fear wash over me, because once we allow the fact that the fear or the shadow or whatever you want to call it is part of who we are, then we start to kind of forgive it because it is a part of who we are and there is reasons behind it, and then we start to be kind to ourselves. And I think that's the main thing. It's like when I was hyperventilating it last night and I freaked Tribe out. Sorry, Tribe. And I knew that there was a lot of shadow involved and it was coming from multiple different places, and it had been triggered by something very real that is nothing that I did, but is things that is being done to me, and things like are outside of my control even. So I had to kind of get to the point where I forgave myself for freaking out because of that, because that would freak anybody out. Like it's a control thing from where I left, and it's still going on in some capacity as much as can be, like they're trying to retain the control even though I've broken it. And so I had to forgive myself for reacting to the control and they attempt to reassert control in a panicked way, because sometimes when people like, you know, you're a warrior and things, and I'm like, I'm a freaking mess right now, but then you have to remember that that's still being a warrior because you're just fighting through.
And that's also when the company you keep, the warriors around you, will also say, hey, fucking hold your shield up. Stop letting them hit you.
This is Cris yesterday for anybody. Joe, come on.
There was a couple people, no, because there were others helping too. But they, like, we each had our own role. Oh, God. There we go. I lagged a little. I'm better now. I don't know if that came through on their end, but...
She turned me into a newt. I got better.
Yes, I got better. Yeah. I was shocked, though, because, okay, so before this whole thing, I would have been mortified that I was crying, much less crying in public, even crying in the car while I was driving, like fucking, like even like while I'm like alone in the car, but because I am out in public in the car, I would be freaking out. I can't control this. What the hell am I doing? I'm so weak. Da-da-da-da. And I had none of those thoughts going this way. I was I was going and I'm like, this is going to be what it is. Like, this is this week. This is this weekend. This is today. There are times that you need to mourn, and it's okay. It's expected.
Yep.
And I think, like, as a death midwife also, even with this topic, like, that's so important to allow yourself to be in those moments and be raw and forgive yourself for it, because it's not a bad thing.
No. And it puts you in the reverse role of the lesson that you're learning.
Yeah.
So you understand and empathize even more so with the people that you're helping, because you've done it and felt it and been there.
Yeah. You are able, it's experiencing a fuller spectrum of emotions and really setting in it and accepting it, so that you can assist others. And not even maybe directly in the way that I do with being a deaf midwife, but also, and the fact that a lot of my services revolve around like those in transition, or like the little deaths in life, if you will. Little deaths. That was quotations, but my shawl interrupted. It was like little death. So it's like a black ghost.
It's like anyway. A Grim Reaper, yeah.
The little death.
Yeah. Just a little death, not full.
And they're silly. But also in other ways. I mean, because it makes you a fuller person. I mean, that's one of the things with hell, even that I've talked about, is that hell is half life, half death. She is rotted on one side. She is something that might be discarded on one side, but she is whole. And because of that, like she's full. You know what I mean? Like she's well rounded. She is, and I think it's good to allow ourselves to experience these things and sit in these things and work with these and acknowledge some harsh truths maybe about ourselves that we would be terrified of acknowledging. And then once you actually do, it's like, oh, I guess everybody does that, huh?
Well, I've said in the Morrigan video about Morrigan and the painful path that it is in times of pain that we really find out who we truly are.
Yeah.
So it's a real strong element of truth comes into this kind of shadow work, because you can't do shadow work half-assed. And people don't really talk about this either. Like people are like, oh, I'm doing shadow work now and it's fine. I'm and to me, if you're not screaming, crying, smacking the wall or something, you're not doing shadow work, because you're not actually feeling what's there, and you're painting certain emotions as a bad thing, a negative thing, whatever, like to be ignored, to be pushed down, to be rejected. And I think that it's a really dangerous thing. So I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I know that my sobbing, crying, hyperventilating thing is strength in its own way, because at least that's real. And I get overwhelmed by the emotion, yes I do, but it's better to be overwhelmed by the emotion than to pretend it doesn't exist or to not feel it. So in that moment, it overwhelms me for a moment, but then I can come through that door and be like, okay, what has this taught me about myself that I need to sit with myself and really address this element of myself and have this conversation with myself and acknowledge that. And I had to get to the point yesterday where I was like, you know what? Fuck fear. Fuck being told I should be afraid. Fuck people who are making me feel afraid. Fuck fear. And the minute I got to that point, it was like everything shifted energetically, like all over. It's
sort of a like an inner come at me, bro, that you have to embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? If this is what it is, then fine. Let it be what it is. Come at me, universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And
yeah.
Like that's very, very much what it needs to be.
Yeah, like I can handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this. And then you do. So
yeah.
That's what it's been like for me.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been facing lately is the voice thing, the voice shadow.
Mm-hmm. Being seen and heard.
And yes, being seen. Exactly. Oh, so I'm gonna read some chat first before I get into that, because there are some good things. So Magpie wrote, where are you, Magpie? Where'd you write that? The thing is that we like to think that when we face an issue within ourselves and work through it, then that's it, we're done. But the truth is, you have to keep at it. The work is to do the work.
I often think it's part of the fact that we are like an inner spiral within ourselves. Like we come back to things that need to be healed and re-healed, because issues go deep. Like issues get into your roots, especially if you've grown up with issues. Like there are issues in your roots that are gonna, and unfortunately, like dysfunction then grows out of these roots. And then so you're picking apart the dysfunction bit, but it's still got to get down to the root of the problem, if you like, and heal your roots even. So
and
I think
that even translates mentally, because when someone has a trauma, like, it links up with other things in your brain. And so from then on, there's this pathway to it that you associate other things that happened during that traumatic event with that traumatic event.
plus
Things that are totally unrelated to someone else, but are to you.
So then, I'll have the weirdest things that trigger me. So I will give an example, and I'm not going into too much depth with this, but because it's very raw right now. But I was handing my sister a cup of tea, and there would always be a teaspoon in it. And my sister was like, "Why are you giving me a cup with it? Why didn't you just take the teaspoon out?" And it's because I've been conditioned that I would be screamed blue murder at if I didn't leave the teaspoon in the mug. And that makes no sense to anybody who's not lived not like, what? And it's like,
you'd be like, it's just a spoon, whatever, but it's not just a spoon to you, it's what the spoon implies.
Yeah. So it can be the weirdest stuff, but it can trigger people in the weirdest ways. Yeah.
So if you look at those things, those are layers. So really, shadow work in a lot of ways is like rerouting the paths in our brains.
Yeah.
It's digging through those things and going, okay, but is this a teaspoon to me? What does this teaspoon represent to me? And, like, just kind of working on that until it does become a teaspoon.
And not everybody is going to react in this really aggressive, hyperactive, nasty way, because that is not normal. That's
Amaryllis is like, fuck yo teaspoons.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did. That's why I'm out. So
Yeah. So it's literally you trying to sit with things and look at the wires and rewire your brain. I mean, let's look at, like, when you do any kind of work, like if you were to work in computers and things, before you take your computer apart, you look at where the wires are first. You're going to study where it is first. Then you're going to, like, pull out wires and rearrange things as is best. And, that's pretty much what you're doing with shadow work, is you're going, okay, so where do these lead?
Yeah.
Because something is off. Something is misfiring.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a real journey to find out what that something that is off is. Like it's not an instant answer thing either. It's not
and sometimes the journey doesn't end because it ties into something else. I mean, all things are connected. So
yeah, absolutely.
So the voice one that I have, though, is the being seen, because I saw some people talk about being seen as well. The voice thing is something that I have. All right. So when I was really little, I sang constantly. Everything. Anything. I made up songs, a lot like Joey and I do here, but, like, I would, like, passionately, seriously sing them. Instead of do.
What do you mean? Wow.
You know what I mean. And gosh, I sang in church because, I mean, for those of you who know, I grew up in a multi-religious household, pagan and Southern Baptist. And I would sing in church. I would sing on the hammock with my grandmother. I would sing a bunch. And at some point I stopped. When I turned into a teen, I went, like, really inward with it, and I wouldn't sing in front of anyone. Terrified me, because your voice is your soul. Your voice is such a raw, pure part of you. I guess it's power again. It's the sword, and it's how you wield it. And it's if you're not careful, you can cut with that voice really easily, or you can give away too much about yourself too. to perhaps the wrong people, but that's a fear again of where you have to kind of go, come at me, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what it is. It's the being seen, so that people can use things against you.
Yeah.
Because if they know who I am, they know who I am.
And that's because you're not okay with who you are on some level.
Right.
That's a shadow.
Yeah. Because on some level you think that you are weak and it matters there, you know?
Or that other people's opinions matter that much.
Yeah.
Outside of yourself for gratification rather than being full from the inside. Which we've all done.
But the truth is like, you are you regardless of their opinions.
Yep.
And my voice is my voice. Like, I'm not fucking Ariel. I didn't sign a contract for anyone to take it away.
Yeah, she did. Totally. I've got it. It's in my cupboard.
Stopped. No! Look, just because I have shells.
That's her bra.
It's not mean that my voice is in them. Shells.
Those are her nipple covers. Just so you all know.
Yes. I'm going to need at least 3, though.
Well, this got dirty real fast.
Thank you, Cora. She said, beautiful voice. I am slowly facing that. And
and I'm pushing
and
it.
That, yeah, she is. She is. She is. Well, one of the first things I told Joey that I admired about her is the fact that she's able to just speak her truth regardless. And not even think twice about it. She just fucking blurts it out. Or at least seemingly doesn't think twice about it. Just blurts it out and is like, and that's what I said, the end. And I'm just like, I want to do that. How do you just do that? And I'm on a journey towards it where, you know, it starts with laying down your wounds, being fiercely vulnerable and laying it down and being like, this is me, bloody and raw, and I'm working on it.
Which I love. I love that analogy.
And now my voice has to come into it too.
And sometimes with these things, the answer is simply just do it. As awkward an answer in response to that is that you just have to do it. And once you've done it, then you've done that and you have overcome, and then you can keep doing it. And it's not easy. I'm not going to tell anybody it's easy to just do something, because it's not. It's not. It takes courage to overcome and be like, right, I want to do this. I want to get past the fear of doing this. I've been told I can't do this, etc. And it's all that kind of hesitation that comes into it. It's like, and that gets in the way. And at some point, you just have to be like, if I want this, then I have to just do this. And it's something that I wrote about as well, that the Morrigan had said to me before. And she was like, if you want this, you will bleed every last drop you have for it, because otherwise you don't want it. And until recently, I wasn't there. I wasn't in a place where there was someone or something or a life or any of it that I wanted so much that I would tear the world apart to get to it. Now there is, and it's a completely different mindset. Like, I will go. I will face every fear I have, because I'm going, and nothing is going to stop me. Not even myself hyperventilating, because I will get through it. So, yeah.
Sweet Susie says, Joey is a fucking warrior. I love her rawness. I admire her ability to share it.
Thank you.
Thank you. The quiet
Thank
little
you. Thank you, warrior voice. Yeah.
So, Nin Snow or Nine Snow, I hope I'm saying it right, 7 says, I always thought a childhood trauma I experienced didn't have any effect on my life, but I realized how that fucker robbed me of so much more than I thought. I can't get close to people I love.
Okay, firstly, you can. Don't tell yourself that you cannot, because by telling yourself that you cannot, you're enforcing that. So that's the first thing.
What I was going to say.
But I've been through childhood abuse too. So I feel you. I feel how that feels. I know it. And it can be a really sneaky bugger. I'm not going to lie, because it comes up in weird ways. weird ways, and that you just have to deal with it as it comes. But the point to get to with child abuse is, and like who you are now, is that those people, from whoever did it, they don't get to define you. You get to define you. And they may have treated you like, they may have put you through that, but you survived that. That's the first thing. Some people don't survive it.
Yeah.
So you survived that. You take a moment and appreciate that about yourself. You survived that hell, and you were in a child space. You're not in an adult space. You're not in an adult mind. You're in a child space, and you survived that. You're a fucking warrior, and you will come through the bits that are remaining. You will come through it, and you will be able to get close to people. It will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you said exactly what I was going to, which is, be careful of your wording.
Mm-hmm.
Don't limit yourself with your words. It may feel like
power.
that, and set with that feeling if you like, but
yeah,
don't just accept it as truth. Don't define yourself by it.
And yeah, words have power, especially in spiritual path walking. We get to know how they vibrate and how they elevate and how they change us and change the world. So start by changing what you're saying, and then the rest will follow from that point.
Yeah. Well,
someday I can, someday I will, tomorrow I can, tomorrow I will, and slowly it will change. It will change.
Yeah.
Life is flux. Life is change.
Flux.
The Flux Cafe will be up when I'm settled.
Yes. Yes. Wolf Raven Hampton says, "Oh man, Cris, did I have some wolf din in the bathroom about my father's death on Father's Day? I had to hide. I get you, girl. I was right there with you. I get it." Let's see. Magpie shared another wonderful quote, as she does. "We all begin the process before we are ready, before we are strong enough, before we know enough. We begin a dialogue with thoughts and feelings that both tickle and thunder within us. We respond before we know how to speak the language, before we know all the answers, and before we know exactly to whom we are speaking."
Some of it I like, some of it I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't like the parts where it's like before we are strong, because that implies that you go from weak to strong, and that's not the case. We are weak and strong all at the same time.
No.
And what is weak and strong anyway? They're just concepts of classifying behavior that I don't agree with. I like the sentiment. Of it, but some of the words bug me a little bit about that one. Just because I don't agree with telling people that certain behavior is weak. That fierce vulnerability that Cris mentioned, that's strength. So
yeah, that's fucking endurance.
Yeah.
That's endurance.
Yeah, wearing your wounds, wearing your truth out on your sleeve takes more fucking strength than pretending they don't exist. So
to get on like a giant soapbox, that's about to happen. Look, people say women are weak.
Because they're
women
emotional.
Are fucking enduring.
Oh yeah.
What other creature can bleed and accept at the same time? What other creature can do both like that? And just keep going like it's a normal fucking day.
Well, women keep going no matter what. There are more women that I know that
like how
survived.
How is that weak?
Yeah, they're not weak. And in a side note to men, the whole nonsense that men are weak if they show their emotions is bullshit.
Yes.
Like, stop telling men that they're weak because they feel.
And to define what I meant by accept, I meant like take into us, not accept like become
docile.
Yes, docile, exactly. Docile. Sorry. Yes.
Docile.
The process.
That's on the ASMR for this. She's making money off me, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have like Joey snippets for everybody's phone.
Sexy words with Joey. Docile.
Yes. Docile.
Balls.
Let's see what I Vivid write. Vivid says, I've suffered an identity crisis my whole life because a close family member presumed to tell me, and still does, who/what I am. And I'm finally realizing that they were wrong and that they don't have that kind of power, even if they think they do because of their seniority. Girl, I literally just finished talking to Joey about a topic like this.
So I'm going to say the audacity of other people who think they can define who other people are is shocking to me. Shocking to me. It's such a level of a lack of empathy and a lack of understanding and a lack of like kindness again, that it really does drive me to the point of going cuckoo, getting on the soapbox crazy, because we don't get to tell people who they are. We can love them, we can support them, we can discuss with them, we can debate with them. Yeah, me and Chris do it all the time. Chris is like, that's not who you are, stop being stupid. And she will tell me, call me out on my shit. And I'll do it for Chris too. Yep. And that's not about defining who
and then we're like,
is.
You're right.
both of us do that exact same thing.
You're right. Tail between legs.
Nocturnal canine thing. Yes. And that's not about defining who the other person is, though. That's about reminding them of who you know they are in that space. So there's a difference there. But when people like, I get it. I get that. I understand that, because people do that to me all the time. Like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't be. I'm like, you know what? It took me a really long time to get to here. It took me a hell of a lot more than most people will ever know to get to this point. Tough. This is who I am. Tough. And it's a process. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. That has taken me a really long time. It's a journey, and it's ongoing, because I still have people to this day get me up in my shit and tell me what I should and should not think or feel, and I try and be friendly and try and be nice up to a point, and then after a certain point I'm like, no, you're done.
But that's also their shadow, that's their need to control, that's their need to tell their environment how to be so that they can act accordingly.
Or jealousy.
Well, even that is like, it's them telling the environment how to be so they can act accordingly.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
And, like my voice, I am like that in a lot of places. My voice is one of those ones that I gotta work on. But, okay, growing up big, I've always been fat. Let's embrace the F word, folks, together.
I'm quite curvy as well. So
yeah, like I've always been fat, man. And exactly, tough titties, city kitty. Someone said tough titties. Oh my God, I said fat and the ice cream truck came. Do you see my power?
I hope you out. That is super freaking loud. The windows are shut and everything. Well.
Oh. See, I told y'all, don't fuck with a fat kid. Anyway, so I grew up fat. I also grew up with a mother who is also larger, right? So, like, I had a very interesting upbringing where, like, my mom was heavier and didn't match a cover girl picture either. But I also thought my mother was beautiful. I still do. She glows. She radiates. She's so happy and expressive and animated. And I had these two things where there was this woman on a cover of a magazine who looked placid, who looked flat.
Docile, again.
Yeah, again, docile. And then I had a wild woman, a vibrant woman right there. And I look at these two in contrast and I was like, one of these are a lie.
Yep.
One of these are a fucking lie. Because if a woman is this, then how is a woman this?
Mm-hmm.
And so at a very young age, I started looking into, like, what is woman? What defines beautiful? What is that glow?
Oof, that's a whole other topic. We could be here all day.
Right? I used to fucking everybody's dying over the ice cream man. I'm telling you, I want some. So it's hard to focus now. But I have co-owned big ass forums for people who were plus size for teens specifically. In my early 20s, I did one for teens. You guys might be familiar with the website called Vampire Freaks. It's a gothic website. And there was a big forum on there that I helped run. And I would help teenagers who came in who were getting bullied for being bigger. And we would have family members that came in and they were like, how do I talk to them? Like, I don't understand what they're going through. Can someone help me understand? And, like, genuinely wanting to. And we would talk to them about that. And that was an area where I've always been like, come at me, bro. You know, like, not always, well. But since I was younger, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I saw that and was like, no, fuck this. Fuck what you were telling me that I am.
I have a different experience. I mean, okay, so...
And don't get me wrong, there were definitely members of the family that also was like, you know, my grandmother, who is dead and probably going to yell at me, but she used to say, oh, honey, you got a pretty face, but you're going to have to thin down if you're ever going to get you a boyfriend.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. You'll
never get married if you're fat. That sort of
thing. And then I would look at my mom and I go, hey mom, how many boyfriends did you have? And she's like, oh, Rod, and I didn't suffer that. I had plenty. As a matter of fact, I had plenty because she said I couldn't. And I went,
where Cris gets it from.
that's the right response.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna tell me I can't do something? Watch me.
Yeah. Yep.
You get to define you.
Yep. So I'm hourglass shaped. I'm quite curvy. And I grew up around kids that were not curvy. I had a full bust by age 11. I was on my period by age 11. I was an adult, I pretty much looked like, I was a bit thinner back then, but I pretty much looked like I do now. By the time I was 11, I'd finished growing. I'd finished developing pretty much. And I got a bit more busty as I got a little bit older, but I was not normal in comparison to every other kid age 11. Wow, is that a thing? I had kids being like, you've got a weird body shape. Right up to the point where I was in my teens, there were teens telling me I had a weird body shape because I was a classic hourglass shape, which is not usual really without like corseting. And I have a natural hourglass shape. So, and then I would have dirty old men hitting on me. So because of the, and so that's all kinds of shadow complex right there. And plus my mother would pick on me 24/7 calling me fat. So it's a thing. Body image is a thing. Kind of an off topic, but it is a thing that
because it's still a shadow. It still leans into shadow, and it's a shadow that I have talked to a lot of people about. I mean, one of my first videos on YouTube, I joined it was a collab called Women's Circle of Love by Jody Witch, and it was with Joanna DeVoe and a bunch of other wonderful people. And one of the first videos I can remember, the challenge was like, what is the goddess to you? And I said, the goddess is enduring. And then I talked about that aspect of it. And, you know, I think the video is actually still on this profile. Like I kept it up. Like I took it off of that one and put it on here when that one disappeared. But I came on like, no, body positivity. Fuck y'all.
The other thing about if you're worrying about body image because you're worrying about like someone that will love you and things is the right person is going to see you and think you're a fucking goddess. And this is something that I've been dealing with lately because I've like in the place that I was, it was constant abuse about my body. Like I was too fat. It was constantly like, this is going to probably shock people. Constantly watching what I was eating to the point of rooting through the bin to make sure I'd not been eating things in the daytime. and demanding to know an itinerary of all the things that I had been eating throughout the day, every day, without fail, and telling me I was too fat and all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. And now I have someone who's like, don't you dare lose weight because you're a fucking goddess. And I'm like, I want to get a bit healthier. And he's like, if you want to, but don't you lose that. Don't you lose it all. And it is, and it's done in a joking way, but a loving way.
Yeah.
And it's a complete 180. So with regards to body image, like, there are different strokes for different folks. So
yes, very much so. Very much so. There are different strokes for different folks, and there is no ideal, and not everyone wants a Barbie.
Nope. I've met actually a lot of men.
Matter of fact,
don't like thin women.
Want a Barbie. Yeah. But that's not to say that if you look like Barbie, no one's gonna want you either. Like, there are people. There's everyone for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Strokes.
And also, there are people that put no weight on appearance at all and love with the soul.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Absolutely.
So there's that. But yeah, there was a period of time when I was young where I remember I lived off popcorn, which sounds like what? But like plain popcorn.
It's actually pretty healthy, yeah.
That's all I ate. Ever.
Well, I say health. It's pretty low calorie, is what I mean to say. But it can be when it's unsalted. But when it's the only thing you're eating,
it's not good.
No.
And that's what I did. It was something that filled my belly. And then I realized, like, what the hell am I doing?
Mm.
I'm doing this to myself.
Mm.
And I stopped, basically. And then I was like, fuck this. Fuck all of this. Fuck it all.
I was leaning on Diet Coke for a long, long time. I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke and not eat very much. And I had to get over that because that's quite addictive as well. There's the arsetine in it or whatever in it. It's quite addictive.
Yeah.
So I had to get over that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Chat is going crazy. So I'm going to see what's going on in here. Ninsno says, I stuffed my bras when I was in high school, then I gained weight, and now my body is like, you want boobs? I'll give you boobs.
Oh, girl. There is...
Yeah.
I know that people say they want boobs, but being a heavy boobed girl in school all the way through was a nightmare. Like, having your bra pinked, having to do PE when no one else has a big bust and you're the only one that's bouncing, even though you've got strap in. It's not fun.
We don't run. We don't run. We don't. This wolf don't run.
Slightly bounce, and that's about it.
Yeah. Debbie says, beauty comes from within. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there is as many differing views on what is beautiful as there are people on earth. You know, one thing that I've noticed, thank you for that, Debbie. One thing that I've noticed is that the thing that people think, in my soapbox thing, I'm sorry, I'll bring it back. I soapbox a lot with this topic because I've been soapboxing it for like 20 years.
I feel you, yeah.
So we're in a comfort zone. One thing I've noticed is that the thing that people want to change about themselves is literally the thing that makes people attracted to them most of the time.
Quite often, yeah.
Charlie, we'll talk about Charlie Cisco because I've heard her share this before.
Mm-hmm.
She has larger eyes, gorgeous eyes. People comment on her eyes all the time. And she has like the line underneath, you know, because she has the larger eyes. And she was watching a makeup video one day on here, and she realized that someone made their eyes look like that on purpose. And she messaged me like, what? That's a thing? I'm like, yeah, of course it's a thing. Like, wait, people want to have my kind of eyes? Yeah, they do. It's like the Ariel thing with the voice. Like, she wanted to get Prince Eric's attention. Prince Eric fell in love with her because of her voice. She gave that up to get legs so that she could go be with him. The thing that we want to, like, give up to go be something else is the thing that attracts people to us often. Our imperfection is the thing, quote unquote imperfection, I'll say it that way, is the thing that makes us human, that makes us fascinating.
So I've said this before, but I'll say it again. As I have a slightly wonky chin, and as like, I don't know if it's like slightly wonky, and as a teenager it used to drive me crazy. Like I hated it. And then one of my big loves of my life had said, well, actually it's one of the things I find cute about you, and it's something I found attractive. And it gave me the moment of, oh, like the thing that you're obsessing about is something that drew people to you. So
yep. Yeah, exactly. It makes Cora, it makes us unique.
Yep. And beauty is in the imperfection.
Yeah.
Perfect is not beautiful to me.
Absolutely.
It's not interesting. It's not dynamic. To all be the same cut and dry thing. It would be boring.
Oh my gosh, there's so much chat. I don't know which things to read, guys.
Because I can't keep up.
There's so much. Okay, let's see. Crystal Moon says, I feel comfortable in my skin. I've birthed 5 beautiful babies. I'm a tiger who's earned my stripes.
It's a beautiful way of saying it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's Vivid says, get it, Crystal. Y'all got me fired up.
That's what we like. That's why we do it.
Madame Venefica says, why do people judge us by our blood sac? Why can't we just love each other, embrace the beauty of the divine within us? Well,
we can do that and embrace our outer blood sac. We don't have to necessarily say the blood sac is a bad thing.
And this is why she's my soul sister. Exactly. Yes.
Because human beings are quite aesthetically driven, basically. Yeah. We like things to look a certain way, and we all have different opinions what that thing is, but I don't think it's necessarily separate. Can your skin not be divine?
Yes. I'm holding.
Can your eyes not be divine? Can your lips not be divine? You express yourself sexually with all of these things, and that's a gift from the divine where you come together with your other half. So why not? I think that you don't need to separate soul and the physicality. I think that as long as you're doing it in a healthy, balanced manner, which of course is the problem is when we're not, then appreciating the physical form is just part of the spiritual experience. It's not separate from it.
Now, on the other end, Gothic says, who is gorgeous, just want to say, all of my friends are very curvy and beautiful, and I think they're stunning. And I get called B.O.B., bag of bones, twig, stick figure, chicken legs, toothpick, etc. And I get called out for it constantly. So this is something I, as a fat bitch, want to just address real quick. At least. That's their shadow.
Yeah. That's a self-defense mechanism. Yeah.
That's them trying to feel like they belong by making you feel like you don't.
It's also because they've been confronted with a stick-thin ideal in the media for a very long time. And if you have that natural figure, it can be very difficult for women who don't have that because they get hostile about it because they've been told they're not enough.
There's also an us and them thing that happens. And that happens with women in general because...
We're trained that way. We get conditioned that way.
Soapboxing. Yes. Basically. I was about to run into another one. But
I felt it coming.
Yeah. I have a friend that I used to work with. She's a tiny girl. She's very small. She has a very high metabolism. And we would eat lunch together all the time. And
did she a shit ton of cake and stuff, and it used to drive you crazy?
She ate whatever she wanted, but here's the thing, it didn't drive me crazy. It drove other people crazy. And I started seeing how she got treated because I would eat next to her. And they would come up to me like it was okay while I was sitting next to her and say, "Oh, aren't you so jealous that she can eat all that? Look at her." Whoa, bitch, are you implying that I don't like my body?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your shadows to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's you, not
Mm-hmm.
me. And it's not her. She can eat what she
Mm-hmm.
wants.
Mm-hmm.
And she is beautiful just as she is.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I am. We don't have to fit a mold.
We don't all have to be the same. Cheese and crackers.
Flux, man.
Yeah.
Flux. So it got to the point where they would come up and I would know what they were about to say, and I would interrupt on her behalf because I got so annoyed with it.
Mm.
So I'm telling you that those people that are saying those things to you,
Shadow.
it's it's the shadow. It's because of how they feel about themselves.
Yeah.
You are gorgeous. Just how you are. Like, look at me in the camera. You are beautiful just how you are. All of you. Pep talk from Wolf. Carry on. Hashtag keep your shadows to yourself. Yep. Yes. And shit castles are flowers. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. And being a bigger woman, like I get where that comes from because like Joey said, we get assaulted with like the model thing.
Yep.
But there's also, I mean, it all boils down to this whole like I have to be prettier, better than you because then I'll be accepted by the male, so then I can be successful.
That's a mouthful.
So we have to tear each other down to climb on each other to get up, and that's not fucking how it works.
It's not how it should fucking work.
No.
That drives me crazy. That drives me the way that I don't know whether it's like a society taught thing or where it comes from, but the teaching young girls that they're all pitted against each other to the point where in rape cases they're like, well, don't you be going out wearing things because then you won't get attacked. And what people are actually saying is the other girl will because you're not wearing provocative. Not protect your damn sisters, not but think about what you're wearing so you don't get attacked rather than look out for your sisters and things. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. So I'm gonna come back down off my side.
It is not a competition.
And
unless you make it a competition.
Well, oh god, the way that women make it a competition about their partners. Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
Yeah, exactly, Juniper Moon. Too fat, too thin, too lazy, too slutty, too daggy. I don't know that one. How about hashtag go fuck yourself?
Yep. Or just hashtag raise sisters up.
Yeah, exactly. When you see someone who is like that, don't just walk by. Don't ignore it. Don't get combative. Instead, tell them what you like about them. When I see someone and I think that they are gorgeous, I fucking tell them. I don't go, oh, she probably thinks she's the shit, that snobby bitch, and walk away. I say, you know what? You have beautiful hair. I just wanted to tell you that. Because chances are they don't think that. Maybe if we told each other about how beautiful our perceived imperfections are, we would all feel a lot better, a lot freer, a lot more accepted.
And
so that's my fucking challenge.
Inside. Yeah.
That's my fucking challenge to you. Next time you see someone who you think is just gorgeous, tell them.
Don't hate on them.
Tell them. Don't hate. Tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them, hey, I just wanted to say I think you look lovely. Or hey, I think you have beautiful eyes.
I love your dress.
Or hey, I really admire, and it doesn't even have to be looks. Let's go outside of that because we're defining by looks again.
Yep.
I think that you are such a brave woman. You are so intelligent. You are so witty. I love the way you light up the room.
Yep. And that deals with our own shadows as well. Because instead of going to a place of being like about our own shadow, we go to a place of elevation.
Yes.
We give instead of being like shutting ourselves off and being hostile. Yeah.
Abby Does Witchcraft says, I don't know how to take a compliment. Well, the only way to get used to it is to get them more.
You say thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Say thank you. And eventually you'll start to feel it.
Yeah. What else we got?
Oh, Christina D, I feel like I should be taking notes and do a video response to this. This is such an important topic. Yeah, do it. Go ahead. Hashtag raise each other up. Bam. Yep. Hashtag raise each other up. I challenge you guys. Anyone watching, I'm gonna make my own. I just stole your hashtag. You stole my line. I can steal a hashtag. All right.
Full circle. We've come full circle.
Bam. No. Hashtag raise each other up.
Yep.
Make a video telling everyone what you love about them. What strengths do you admire in them?
Yep.
Anything.
Yep. Do it. Let's start it. Let's start it right here.
Yeah.
Boom. I want to come back. I want to come back in a week when I've had my week off and see that tag everywhere.
Yes.
And I'll do it.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be. I'm just going to clarify. It doesn't even have to be for the women too, because a lot of men suffer with that shit too. She's so excited that she's dropping the iPad.
I'm sorry you all ended up in my tits right there. I'm sorry.
I am not afraid. Oh, okay. Speaking as a guy, going outside of looks can be tough. It can be taken as an implication she isn't looking good and you're skirting the issue.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. Like if you're talking about her personality, it's like an attack on her looks almost.
Yeah, well, and that's a thing that, you know, that goes back to the fact that we like measure ourselves by looks. In general, I'll say. I won't say we all do, but
we're taught that
as a society, we are taught to measure ourselves by looks.
Yeah, like the ugly girls have a better personality.
Be pretty so you can get a good man who will take care of you, because you could never take care of yourself, and you're never smart enough or anything else enough, right? The thing is it's not that you don't want a man. I mean, maybe you don't, but it's not even about that. It's about how it's delivered. It's the beliefs behind it that
making you small. It's trying to make you small rather than say that you can be anything you want.
And then there are people like Michael, who, if he says great personality, oh, what? So I have an ugly fucking face? And again,
the response to that, by the way, if you want a response to that, is your personality is more important to me than looks. That's about me, not about you. So make it about what you like rather than about their face. So that's the response I would recommend in that scenario. Like, that's more important to me. So
also mind your shadows, ladies, again.
Yeah.
Because not everything is an attack on you in that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy sometimes to go there.
Oh yeah. Especially if we're sensitive for some reason
and especially if we've been told that we are weak.
Yep. Or ugly or not enough.
You're trying to attack me because I'm weak? What?
Yeah.
Fear calling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thin line. So yeah, Michael, and thank you for bringing that up, because that's a really good point.
It is.
But I do want to also say it goes for men as well. Men are told to be
bulky.
Buff.
Yeah.
Buff.
Do you know, right, side effect.
And burly and manly and whatever that is.
Well, some men it suits, but for me, I'm much more interested in a slim, nerdy kind of physique. That has always interested me more. So the whole kind of all women want this bulk. Don't look at me like that.
That's that shit.
That's like, yeah. Well, we know about that, Jory. That face.
Yeah.
But nerds.
I mean, you know, that's true, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. He'll be watching this later and cracking himself up.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I love Asbjorn Torvald, seeing as he did that last time he was on a live chat. There we go.
Whoa. There you go. It happened. Everybody loves everybody on my channel, man.
It's
Bringing
Chris who's drugging
together.
us. It's Chris
Bringing
who's
people
drugging us.
together. Shh,
Drugging
don't say
us.
how. Don't say how.
It's the drugs, dude.
I also drugged the ice cream man. That's why he rolled by when I planned it.
That's where the drugs are. The drugs
Oh my
are in the
gosh.
ice cream.
Let's see. It's happened, seriously. OTOH. I know the reaction is their shadow, not mine, but still, yeah. Yeah, on the other hand, yeah. Yeah, but, you know.
Is this a we can only be in charge of ourselves answer?
Mm-hmm. Yep, pretty much. Madam Luna, I take compliments on my intelligence and my personality to heart more than those on my body or my looks. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Well, people always tell me I look pretty. That's what people say to me, like, you're pretty. I'm like, I don't want to be pretty. I want to be otherworldly and fierce. Like, I don't want to be told I'm pretty.
You stole that meme.
I stole that meme. I want to be told I'm fierce. That I would much rather be called like fierce, which has a connotation of not pretty, than be told I am pretty. So that's a weird thing about me. So there you go.
Amaryllis is like, LOL, we guessed you kind of loved him.
You guessed I kind of loved him. Well, he did it last time he was on this chat. So I thought I better do it, because otherwise I get told off. Like, you were on live chat and you didn't say that you fucking love me.
There is sensitivity, but also psychosis. So you never really know what's on the other end for a person, but all you can do is be thankful for the awareness you get.
You can be kind.
Yeah.
And not take any shit. Because the problem with that is, after a certain point, people are pushing. Like, after a certain point, they're taking advantage. And after a certain point, put your boundaries and say no.
You know what? Yeah, all right, I'm going to say it. So, here's the thing with me. I think this all kind of boils down back to what we were talking about the come at me bro thing. Because people are not always going to respond how you want.
If ever, but yeah.
Right. And that goes for both sides. So if this is, Michael, for instance, saying this to someone, or someone receiving it wrong, regardless of what it is and how it's meant, like, your own shadows are your own shadows, and it's your own responsibility to mind them.
Yep.
And you just kind of have to have a come at me bro approach to the world.
You are your shadow keeper.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Hashtag Shadowkeeper. Man, all the hashtags. Yes. Come at me, bro. Exactly. And you just have to see. And I mean, I'm not saying like charge in to anyone. Like, come at me, bro. Blah.
There's a good balance. You shouldn't be living on eggshells all the time, and you shouldn't be in people's face all the time. You should find that good balance.
But come at me, bro says come at me. Use your own inertia to come at me. I will be standing here waiting. That doesn't mean I'm attacking you. But people take it like it's attacking you. They get in your face like, come at me, come at me. You just came at them. That's not what that means.
Yeah.
So when I say that, I mean stand in your power. Stand tall. Exactly.
In your head.
Yes. Boom. Stand in your power and know that whatever happens, you will not be moved.
Hive mind. I will not be moved. I will not be moved.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Chat. So much chat. So much chat, guys. Let's see.
Chitty chitty chat chat.
Okay, So Gargoyle Mistress says, I don't know Amaryllis. I just saw a slight description. I never heard the word before. Wait, what word? What's happening here?
It's all confusing.
Oh my god. I don't know. Guys, type in what was I reading there? Help us, sister, help. No, Mary Morning, you can be fierce and pretty. They will never see it coming.
Oh, I like
Whoa,
it.
she pointed out one of your lines.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't want to be pretty. I want to be this. Well, we're all things. Looks.
I like it. I'll take it.
Touche, Mary Morning. Touche.
I'll take it. I like it.
It's an advantage. All the guys I was with were also different from each other. Yeah. Yeah, all the guys I've dated have been pretty much different.
Mine have all been nerds. I'm quite slim, so I have a type.
The common theme in all of mine is a sense of humor.
Oh,
if you can make me laugh. Yeah, right.
My last place didn't come from a good place, so it's a bit
Willow
difficult for me.
Willow Rain says, Joey just took us to church.
Take us to church.
Okay.
My lover's got humor. Anyway.
Grow deep. See what that's in response to. I don't know, guys. Do you have any questions since we're here and asking? We haven't really asked for questions yet.
No,
any commentary on this? Anything
comments,
like that?
questions? Kate Crows?
Cigar to very low. Yes. So I was gonna say something. I was gonna bring it somewhere.
I don't know. You didn't give me any clues this time.
I know. I had it. Well, you're in my head, man. Where are you? Come on.
Distracting you with random nonsense like fox faces. Yeah.
Hold on, I need to adjust the color. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right.
Questions.
Can I have an ice cream, please? The Geek Witch. No.
You can, but she puts the drugs in them. She puts the drugs in them. Don't. It's a trap.
Don't tell them about my operation, Joey.
Euphoria by Cris.
The Geek Witch says, which drugs?
Euphoria by Cris.
Yes.
I can't tell you which drugs. Come on now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, they're talking about dag, the word. Like what earlier when I said daggy or doggy.
Oh, okay.
So, oh man. So Cris has a dungeon and feeds people drugged ice cream. This is what we're learning today, Gothic.
And she spanks you if you're bad.
No. I spank you if you're good.
We'll be good.
We veered far, far away. Far into the land of what the fuck?
No, we haven't. That's where we live. We just hop over the fence to, sane every 5 minutes.
True. Oh, all right. This is off topic, but we'll take it. Oh, giant garbage truck. Hello.
Garbage day.
Yeah. She gets an ice cream truck. I get a garbage truck. Unfair. I call shenanigans.
You get the leftovers. What's wrong?
So Abby Does Witchcraft asked, what can you use black walnuts for? Looking everywhere, can't find a use other than wish making.
Protection. Black walnuts. Because it's often things where you get a lot of
protect your nuts. No. Okay.
No. That was like it wasn't even clever. No. You can do better than that, Capricorn. Better wordplay. So shells are really protective, and black things in general are really protected because of the color magic involved and the sort of dark. Oh, you could use them like in a darkness ritual, because walnuts are often used as like an offering to the dead and things. So you could use them in like a night spirit ritual. That's what I'd use them for.
Yeah.
Spirit offering.
B asked, is there a waiting list? A waiting list for what? For ice cream?
For the dungeon.
Oh, well, it's quite popular.
Down fee of $200.
I wish the sun would pick a setting that it wants to be at, so I could stop adjusting this camera. Black walnuts can be used. Walnuts can be used to cleanse your body of parasites. Someone said. See, Sarah likes my protect your nuts. I'm just saying.
I just thought you could do better. That's all I'm saying. It could have been
well,
better.
Of course I could do better, but I wanted to do that.
I enjoyed it really. I'm just teasing her. Like, don't come after me, chat.
Michael says, protection, sun association, since walnut trees are very tall and also in association with intellect. Also, walnut oil makes a really good base to oil wooden tools.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for nuts, look at Michael apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, just gonna open up. What the heck?
Do I want to
Which
know?
baby farmer says, I thought it was a lump formed in the back end of fur of a sheep.
I like hers better than yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Le poop.
That's cross wolf face right there. She said mine was better.
Yeah.
It's all right. She'll elevate. She'll come up with something even better in a minute. And then she'll be proud.
And then I'll make the puppet face.
Yeah. You should have the puppet face the first time. That would have made it.
I love lemongrass. They're talking about lemongrass now. All right. Gothic Khan. Saying Greek witch. What is Greek witch saying? The sun. It's midsummer. I do what I want. Oh yeah. Do what you want.
It's also no panties day. 22nd.
I didn't get that memo. So do what you want. Kind of that goes back into the shadow thing because it's like a don't let people limit you.
I have a thing about the do what I want thing because I think often that gets shouted by people who actually are acting out of their shadow rather than self-empowerment. Because I've said before in an article that I wrote that I really don't like the idea of telling people to go fuck themselves is empowerment because I don't think it is. Because telling people to go fuck themselves is basically still handing them power because you're angry at them for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
So instead of that, you should be like, no, I'm okay in what I'm doing, and you know that you don't get a say, rather than you go fuck yourself. I am who I am, because that attitude is attaching to yourself to people energetically. So I have an issue with that. So and like, but I also have to say, because earlier on we talked about that and we said, fuck that, fuck the shadow, fuck blah blah blah. And I have to say, I think that there is a difference in how it's used. That doesn't mean like at all it can never be used. No,
but I think
that's where the emphasis falls, though, isn't it? Because if you're telling someone to fuck themselves, then you are attacking that person rather than fuck that, which is the behavior.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to.
Yeah. I have clarified. At first I was afraid, I was petrified.
I could never live without you. But I spent so many nights.
Oh, I thought you were going to say nuts.
And I grew strong.
Alan, how to get along.
So you're back with black walnuts.
And now you're back. A bag of nuts.
A bag of them. We've upgraded. A bag of them. The Geek Witch is like, I heard nuts. I heard nuts. Of course you heard nuts and balls and boobs. It's a live
It's one
chat.
of our live chats, yeah.
Yes.
We have to intersperse the really deeply serious spiritual stuff with some nuts.
Oh, Random, you're back. You've been quiet. I wonder where you went. My rich gal. She said, I just wanted you to know that I love you both so much.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So, let's see. I don't know. I'm not seeing any. So, let's just, like, continue exploring because people aren't asking stuff.
Okay.
Wow.
Nobody has any shadow questions. Okay. Okay, we did self-worth. We did body image. Well, how about we expand?
Michael, that's totally where I went. That's totally what I was thinking. Michael says, well, masturbation is a great stress relief. So in a way, telling them to fuck themselves is actually doing them a favor. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
I can't argue with you.
Yeah. Legitimate release. Oh, question. Yay, questions. How do you get over the fear of an entity touching you or beside you? I'm still pretty new at spirits, etc.
Well, firstly, I would challenge the wordplay of get over. I would ask you why you think there is something to get over. Sometimes experiences make us uncomfortable because that's where we need to be learning. It's a difficult one for me because, I suppose I was a little bit afraid of it when I was a kid, but it's kind of been present for me for such a long time that I don't really remember.
Yeah, that's why I made the face, because I'm thinking back, like, okay, so at what point was I?
I guess it depends what outcome you want. Do you want to never be touched by spirits ever again, or do you want the fear to stop so you can work with the spirits? What are we asking?
How are you trying to work with them? Like, is there a specific kind that you're trying to have that happen with, or
is it just happening? Yeah. Well, I mean, the obvious answers are cleanse yourself, ground yourself, put your shields up, which is in our protection videos. We had 2 protection videos all about it. So
yes, we did.
So that, if it's icky entities, then cleanse, ground, shield up, wear protective jewelry, that sort of thing. There's a lot of protection stuff that can be done. But the fear element often, because we've mentioned fear caller already, and often what we're afraid of we attract, because we're so afraid of it we end up manifesting it. So you have to kind of take your fear and sit with your fear and make friends with your fear and be like, okay, why am I afraid of it? And then once you make friends with your fear, then you can begin to understand it, and then it just becomes a lesson rather than something to be afraid of.
And really the way to do that is to send it love.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting it, instead of trying to analytically understand it, send it love. Because it is that part of you that feels unloved.
The minute that happened, a spirit appeared over there. That's why I was looking over there. I was like, hi.
Yeah.
Ancestor, hello, hi.
Yeah, and my cat is also like right here. Honey, do you want to come up? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on up. You can do it. I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Come on. Want to go on the computer first? Come on. He's not down with being picked up, but we're going to try it. Hi.
Oh.
So this is Killinger, Dr. Killinger, guys. I don't know how often you guys get to see him anymore, but he's in a lot of my old videos.
Oh, beautiful.
Not ringing. Yeah. Do you want to go on the altar? Go ahead. There you go.
Oh, bless. You're stealing the show now.
I don't mind him up there as long as there's not a candle going. See, hi Noah. Noah's here. What? Yeah.
No.
Really? Oh, okay. Don't step on the keyboard though. Okay. Thanks for that. So anyway, guys, let's talk.
Addressing your shadow.
Oh my gosh, man, come on. Oh, dude. That's what he typed for everybody in chat. Have fun with that. No, not on the keyboard. Just sit down. Sit down. Thank you.
Oh, headbutts. No,
I know.
I need a kitty.
Oops. All right. Anyway, guys, you're totally just staging.
Distracting. Yeah.
We're trying to talk about shadows and truth.
We had a deep
Do you mind?
thing going on.
Are you gonna get in the camera now? Because that's hilarious. If you do.
Come on,
He's sniffing right next to it.
Come on.
Oh, and yep.
Yep. That's on it. Come on. Hi. Hi, baby.
Here. You got stuffs. You're such a sloppy eater. And you're selecting the whole chat now. Okay, can we ask the kitty questions? Because a cat pooped in my strawberry bush, and I'd like to know why. Why do cats poop in her strawberry bush? What do you think of that? Why do they poop? Because they're ashamed. Head down. What do you think? He has claimed the strawberries. Everybody's just like, kitty! That's like the chat that you did with the chat that you did with Molly, where the cat's in the background just stealing the show the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to upstage Molly, mind you.
Yeah.
And that cat is just like, I am regal. And then Laura had it happen too, Laura Daligan. Cats, man. It's like we worship them as gods or something.
We do. See? We do.
See, Random Witch asks, how is the necklace you got from our trip? Oh my god. Oh, guys, can we talk about Hell's Claw that I found for a second?
Oh,
here?
I love this.
That's this. Look at it. Take it in. Don't focus on me and the cat. The other thing. No, it's not going to do it. Oh, kind of. It's
so gorgeous.
A zebra. And it's shaped like a finger. Anybody else see that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go from this angle. There we go. Yes. Love it. I haven't decided what chain to put this on yet, guys. I'll take comments from the peanut gallery. But, yeah. Totally about sending self-judged parts of yourself. Love. Otherwise, they just end up repressed. Oh, yeah. Witch Baby Farmer. Totally about sending self-judged parts of yourself. Love. Otherwise, they just end up repressed and larger like the Babadook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, the whole not talking about these things makes everything about 20 times worse. So when people feel like they can't talk about the shadow parts of themselves, it just gets more and more venomous. The poison just seeps in. So it is important to talk about these things and bring these things out into the open, even if you're only doing it with yourself. So, yeah.
Yes.
That's why we're doing it. Because it's very topical right now.
Right. Let's see. What other shadows are there? I mean, there's so many shadows. But what have we dealt with recently? Oh, the one that we can talk about, like the whole authority thing, where like you're more apt to believe other people's word over your own.
Okay, we can do that.
I haven't really delved in that as much. Right?
And that's kind of finding your own voice again as well. Like, instead of being subservient to the voice of others, it's about finding your own voice. Yeah, we can talk about that. So this isn't something I particularly struggle with because I've always known my own mind in terms of intellectual pursuit.
Yes.
So even at school, I would challenge the question. I would challenge and not like rudely, but I would challenge the questions. I would challenge the teachers because I wasn't the kind of person who was told this is the bare bone facts of the situation and that's it. Because I could always find a different perspective, and that's kind of who I am at core. And that's why I do videos to this day, which are like, well, let's look at things from a completely different perspective and think about it that way. So there's not something that I naturally fall into, but I have seen it, that people feel like, especially when they're new, maybe a bit more to the spiritual path, that they feel like other people's word is kind of law. This kind of feeds into other this feeds into other spiritual paths perhaps more than paganism, but it does happen in paganism, and appropriate umbrella terms for what we all walk through. Paganism is just an easy term.
It happens a lot within the pagan community.
And then there's the flip side, where people get to the point of their shadow where they think their word is law and they get to tell people how to practice. So it's kind of a nasty feed-in situation, because there are people out there who are experts, and they will say that their word and their interpretation is law, pretty much. And if you're outside of that, then you're wrong. And God, that's a whole topic I've talked about so many times. You cannot tell someone their spirituality is wrong.
Yeah. What even is right and wrong in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So that's absolutely, that's a shadow of fear about self-expression, self-exploration, not having enough faith in yourself to say, I felt this, I feel this, I believe this. So you're kind of looking outside of yourself for gratification again. It's kind of like their word is better than mine for some reason. So that's that shadow, I guess. You haven't.
Gothic has brought up an interesting one. I'm not sure how they mean it though. Did we talk about the shadow of suffocation, as I call it, or self-constriction, and how that affects spell work?
Oh, lady, I've got a blog post coming all for you. Chris knows about it as well, because I use the exoskeleton as a analogy in that blog post. So we limit ourselves. We constrict ourselves. We bind
all the time.
All the time. We can do it with words when we say we cannot.
Exactly.
We can do it with opinions when we allow people to tell us who we are, or not. That's a lot of shadow, and it is very constrictive. And breaking past that is the most painful, difficult experience of my life to date. That ain't easy. That is about total, utter surrender to something else. And that is belief in something better. That is the belief in love. That is the belief in trust and things that you have to get past your own and you basically have to tear your own exoskeleton off. Because you have constricted yourself and bound yourself and tied yourself in knots for so long that you then have to tear that off.
And again, that's kind of a being seen thing as well.
It is, yeah. And it's finding that place within yourself where you're like, I'm okay with myself. Some days you might really, really love yourself. Some days you might not care for yourself, but all the way through that, you can be okay with yourself. So you can swing between twos. Like, I don't really care for myself today. I think that I was a bit shitty and I have to work on that. Versus, oh my God, that was a really great and I really feel proud of myself. You can go between those two and still be okay with who you are. You can still be authentic and true.
Yeah, it's not a strive to be inhuman. It's not a strive to be this perfect separate white robot or something.
In fact, be more human. Be flawed.
Yes.
Understand your flaws and work with who you are and the flaws and the imperfections and all the rest of it. So self-constraint is a very highly personalized way to deal with it, because I can't give you a 101 course in how you're going to do that, because that's personal, like super personal, and depends on so many different factors, like how and why you bound yourself. But we all do it. We definitely all do it.
Yeah. Sarah, I agree. I think it's just something that you have to constantly kind of like, I don't want to say police yourself, but kind of.
Liberate.
Yeah. You have to watch for the words you use and the actions you do and the beliefs that you hold.
Become aware.
Is really hard. to challenge your own beliefs, because I mean there's something in our brain that just goes, nope, that's a core belief, fuck you, this is what it is, la la la.
So what I do, and I learned this, I think this is in one of my witchcraft books from 100 years ago, that if you're having really negative thoughts about a situation and you don't want to manifest them, you go back into that thought and you white cross it out, like in your mind, like I don't want to be manifesting that, like paint, no. So that's a technique you can use with that, and I do use, like if I'm having like
totally, I will
thoughts.
I'll say delete.
Yeah,
I'll, like if I say something out loud and I'm like, oh nope, that's not, nope, delete, back up, backspace, delete, nope, done. Yeah. I take that back. Let's see, Sarah says my nodes are opposite of Cris, so my life lesson has to do with finding my voice, not looking to others for validation, and deciding what I want for myself without the influence of others. And you will get there, and you'll learn it. And it's
not, I'm going to argue with influence of others, because other people can influence your life for the better. Let's be careful about saying that people can't influence us, because that's not true.
Oh yeah, we are not an island unto ourselves.
Yeah. It's okay for people to influence you in all kinds of ways, as long as you are in control of the ship.
Yes. Do you mind now? Are we done?
No, we're not done. We're not done.
You're walking on where my microphone sits, though. No fucks are given on this day.
Oh, it's a cat. I wouldn't expect it.
He's sure in himself. Yeah, that's for sure. Random asks, can I ask one? Yes, you can.
Of course you can.
What the fuck are you doing? That's the microphone. Come on, man.
We're not done.
Guys hear something, I apologize. No? All right. Anyway. I recently nearly dipped my toe into justice/revenge magic. I felt myself pulled there, and the Morrigan was literally waiting at the doorway. I pulled back because I am not one to judge. What do you do?
So what question? What we asking?
How do you feel about pulling back from overextending your magic for stuff like that?
I don't think you can overextend your magic. Your magic is endless and limitless.
She pretty much took my answer.
Right, if we're talking about justice and revenge magic, so working with Morrigan, here you go. Morrigan is the righteous wrath. There's another word for ASMR, wrath. So the thing about righteous wrath is you have to get yourself aligned with the fact that it exists. Sometimes injustices happen in the world which require righteous wrath. They require anger and to fuel the change in society. For example, Standing Rock. Injustices against women.
Yeah.
These situations require righteous wrath. And sometimes in our own life path, somebody crosses the line so far, and I'm going to use if someone attacks children, that they have gone so far that righteous wrath is a thing, and it should not be shirked from. We are witches, we are pagans, we are whatever you want. Magic is dangerous, but so are we. And
put that on a shirt.
And sometimes you have to embrace all forms of magic, because that is just the way the world is. The world is not always nicely. Sometimes a nice solution will not get the change done. Sometimes the world needs a little fire burning to the ground so that things can rise from the ashes. See, Kitty agrees. That's it. Yeah, but then burn it all down. That's what Kitty says. Burn it all down. And there, revenge is something else, because revenge is unfortunately a bit of a cycle which doesn't necessarily achieve very much, and it can just perpetuate. But when somebody is coming after like your kids or something like that, there's a line, and just deal with it is what I would say. Like, I'm a Morriganic practitioner.
You ever met a mother scorned? I wouldn't want to take her on.
No. And hey, kitty.
I know, he's like staring right into the camera, dude. What are you doing? Are you trying to steal the show?
You're succeeding for sure. Like...
Yeah, you're definitely succeeding. Can I get a head boop? Can I get a head boop?
No.
Damn it. No love. Can I get a hand boop? Yeah, you're always up for the hand boop. That's what I thought. Yeah. Hand whore.
Hashtag hand whore.
Yes. Hashtag hand whore. Hashtag Dr. Killinger. By the way, if you guys know what the name is from, kudos to you. Okay. So random reply to that. She says, I fear that path, but is that where my path is going? Is that where the Morrigan is pulling me or waiting for me? Is that a huge burden?
Yes.
That is a huge burden and responsibility.
Yes, that's where your path is because you're afraid of it.
That's exactly what I was. God damn it, Joey. No, I was gonna be like, is that where you're afraid of going? Because yeah.
Pretty
much.
Okay, I'll tell you what the Morrigan told me recently, and it's kind of a slash universe thing. She's like, leap.
Yes.
Fucking leap, woman. Fucking leap. Fucking do it. Leap. So we leapt. And it's the best thing I have ever done. Leap. Go the place you're afraid of. I dreamt that I needed to be involved with poisons. It's part of my dreaming process that brought me to... it was to do with all this spiritual stuff that's been going on that I will talk about at some point in the future. But poisons was a big part of that. Like, you must work with poison. And that's a scary thing to start doing initially.
Yeah. I had to leap as well. I was in a job that seemed perfect, like the golden awesome job.
I love how she's saying this. She still needs to fucking leap with her voice work.
Oh, I do. No, and that's the thing too, though, is that it's not just one leap and you're done.
Oh, no.
There are a series of leaps.
Oh, yeah. Till you can
We
fly.
will constantly be leaping.
Till you can fly, and even then.
Yeah. So when I say that, I realize that there are other leaps as well. I am,
You're not one and done.
You go in a cycle. Some days we're the fool.
Oh, you look at that camera, you handsome boy. He's not doing it now.
What are you doing? Yeah, he's like, fuck you.
He's like, he was staring at me, and then I noticed, so he was like, oh no.
Are you looking at people? All right. I mean, I guess that's okay. You're trying to stay on the shit, though. Anyway, guys. Oh my gosh. Sarah M says, Chris, if you make an album, whether it be covers or whatever, I would buy it. I don't know if I could do covers because that's like copyright stuff.
That's not where she's going anyway. I know where she's going.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
And it's going to be glorious.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a whole thing, guys.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah. Random Witch says, I told Chris that I am in the new fool phase where I am in the fool again when we talked. Exactly, dude. That's why I said it. Like, you're restarting and this is another leap you'll have to take. Mm-hmm. Anyway, leap until you are defying gravity. Wicked. Defying gravity. Okay, anyway. There was a bunch of questions. Hold on. Found it. Okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. My question is, how do you discern the difference between shadow and truth? Because shadow always masquerades as the truth.
Shadow is truth.
Yeah.
They're both true.
Yeah.
The thing is that just because it's a fear doesn't mean there isn't truth in there.
Yeah.
It's still true. And the thing is about making a shadow not true is making a part of yourself not true. So the shadow is still true for you. Yeah. It may not be healthy for you, but it's still true for you.
And what I'm hearing is that there's truth in all things. There's a little bit of truth in all things.
Oh, yeah. And that's what makes it even scarier. That's what makes shadow scarier.
Yeah. Because you can be the hero, but you're also the villain.
Yep. So I wouldn't worry about trying to discern what I would. The thing about shadow is usually the reaction to the shadow is the bit which is overwhelming and is perhaps larger than it needs to be. Like the reaction to the shadow is the bit that needs to be looked at. And yeah, see, Kitty agrees.
He agrees. He agrees.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
No, I think you're pretty too. He's watching me. That's what it is. He's like, who's this beautiful lady on camera?
That's Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's shy now. Oh.
Yeah, he's like, no. It's so hard to take a picture of him because he's all black, so he just fades into the background. And unless he's actually looking at the camera where you can see his eyes, you're like, what is this black blob you're showing me?
So he's a
Why won't you let me show you off? Oh, now you get his ass.
Now he's showing off.
Yep. Thanks for that. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that truth is in all things. There are pieces in all of it.
I thought you said pizza then. I was like, what?
There are pizzas in all of it? That could love. No. So I think that, I mean, there could be pizzas in all of it. Who am I to judge? But I think that is the challenge, is to be able to set with like that, perhaps what you define as the villain side of you, or the villain characteristics of you, and hear them out and love them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, yeah, well, I'm a work of progress. And you know what? The hero is the hero, but the hero can be really self-righteous sometimes too.
Oh yeah, the hero can be a dick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And to be honest, I prefer villains 90% of the time. So
yeah, me too. But still, what I'm saying though is that the things that we are more comfortable with accepting ourselves as.
But that's
like
outward. That's outward projection again. That's how people perceive us, not who we are. So
right.
What is good and bad anyway? Doesn't exist.
That cat really is Killinger because he's controlling the minds of those in this chat. Yes. Looking for more questions because there were definitely more. Standing Rock, you touched on my issue. Tanya says, yeah, Standing Rock was and still is a big issue for me.
It's something that we need righteous wrath about, because these people have every right, and they are having their every right taken from them by people who have no right to be doing it. And the things that are being taken away from them are like basic human rights, and it's despicable. So yeah.
Not only that, but the poisoning of our waters is like a major thing for me. I live in Ohio, and I am not that far from Flint, Michigan. And
which is a mess.
That is still going on.
Yeah.
It is still a wreck. And how long has it been? And this is okay.
Years and years. Yeah.
This is all right.
Poisoning the land.
This is acceptable for us? Hell no, it's not. And even more than them, there are reservations that have had this issue for even longer.
Oh yeah. And they get their rights taken away, and corporations just slam down the poisons in their water.
Absolutely. Yeah. My own water, we had an algae scare a few years ago, and it made our water undrinkable. And there was like a panic. It was a water crisis. And ever since then, like, I don't drink our water.
It's funny how you end up buying corporation water, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing too, though, is that you're kind of fucked either way because of how the setup is.
Yeah. Yep.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, there are the filters you can get as well.
But it's
to put on your faucet.
Well, yeah.
But you still have to pay for those.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Madam Luna is in West Virginia, and we all had to get tested about 15 years ago because plants were dumping chemicals in the Ohio. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, when you affect the water affects everything, not just the immediate place that you dump it. It gets carried everywhere.
Lifeblood of the land.
Yes.
Yep.
I will get poetic. I will be like, our mother is crying. Like,
not to mention the spiritual connotations of water and rivers and things.
Yeah.
When you desecrate water and wells, you're desecrating sacred places in the land that have been sacred and ancient for throughout history. So you're actually desecrating it on a spiritual level as well as a physical level. So yeah.
Yeah. And this is the thing that we are taking into us. This is the thing that we are washing with.
We are poisoning ourselves with the land water.
That is being watered onto our plants.
Yeah.
Our food.
Yep. We are killing ourselves and the planet by allowing this to happen. So yeah.
We're meandering way off truth and shadow, but I'm just saying, like, that is a whole fucking topic. And
technically that's a cultural shadow. The thought that we have the right to do whatever we want to this land. That's a cultural shadow.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it like that. Yeah. Yeah, Gothic Arcana. I'm in California, and we've been in a drought for fucking ages. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah. So if there's any more questions, guys.
Shadows or truth? Shadows or truth?
So Mother Night, the book I've been talking about lately, in it she talks about overculturation.
Mm-hmm.
And how the meaning kind of just gets taken out of it because it becomes so mainstream and so widely accepted that the sacredness, in a sense, perhaps maybe not even sacredness, but the meaning,
the depth,
yes, disappears. And we're talking about cultural shadows, and that just kind of reminded me of the book talking about overculturation and how it's the job of the people who are other, which is essentially everyone really when you boil down to it inside, but the job of people who are other, who are on the frontiers, or the outskirts, to keep that alive, to keep the depth, to hold space for it. And so I think bringing it back to truth, following your truth does that. Following your truth and following like your heart and your purpose and your passion and finding your voice is keeping that alive.
It's spreading it as well. It's inspiring other people to do it.
Yeah, it's bringing it inside the lines. Just as much as we feel cast out, we can affect the inside still. We are still connected.
Oh yeah.
And we have the power to wield that power in a way that helps. Even when it is wrath. Even when it is something that is just absolutely inexcusable.
Yeah. I mean, with the wrath thing, it's kind of taking a stand against, for the lack of a better word, the evils that men commit, or, well, men and mankind commits.
Yeah.
Evil triumphs while good people do nothing, that kind of thing.
Let's see, Geek Witch is talking to Random, says, take it slow and steady. You're not...
beg your pardon?
No, Random Witch... Geek Witch said to Random Witch, take it slow and steady. You're not just acting on rage by giving yourself time to be sure you're taking the action that's right for you. Hold on. There's a conversation, man. I'm going to finish. Hold on. And she says, yes, Geek Witch, this is Random. I keep myself back from unfurling my wrath upon anyone because, not bragging here at all, because it scares me, there is real power I can tap into in order to seek justice, vengeance.
You're talking about being afraid of your fear. You're talking about giving into your fear. Do not be slow and steady with your fear. Face your fear. Sit with it. Do not make excuses and not engage, because that's what that is right there. I'm sorry. I sound like a bitch now. I apologize if I do. But do not make excuses for not engaging with who you are. Because you are who you are for a reason. And that is a part of yourself. It's beautiful, it's glorious, it's ugly, it's everything all in one motion. Do not back down from who you are and who you need to be.
Yeah.
I know I sound like a cowbag now. I apologize, but
no, I agree. There's a difference between sitting with something and thinking of how to act and something that you've already been sitting with, lady.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah.
Because you have formed enough thought around this to be like, nope, this is why.
Yep.
So you clearly have already thought about this.
Mm-hmm.
So face it. Because again, that's a being seen.
Yep.
What if I'm too powerful? What if I'm too much?
What if I'm baneful and suddenly I'm a bad person?
What if it infects me and I become a demon? You know what I'm saying? Like our mind, I know that that's dramatic, but that's where our mind goes. It's like, well, if I just tip my toe in it, what if I become addicted to it and then like I become this otherworldly, like this isn't Buffy.
Yeah.
This isn't Buffy. We hold all those things in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
No one is a fucking 100% pure angelic shadow hunter. I'm just saying. That's a reference. Anyway.
I just realized that because people are like caution all the way through, and I really don't feel that that's the way to live. For me, every time I've been cautious, I've put myself in a cage and I've got stuck there because I've been afraid to leap. And the minute that I leapt and gave in and surrendered, then I truly started living.
Stop fucking settling.
Yeah.
Stop settling. Everyone, stop settling. That's what I was doing 2 years ago. A year ago.
That's what I was doing.
For 8 years, I settled.
For 5
Stop
years, I settled.
settling.
Yep, stop it. It's not. And I say this as a person who did it and has had to drag herself out of that. And it was painful to the nth degree. And because there was all this crap going on, do not trap yourself in that cage. Don't do it. Don't put that exoskeleton on yourself. Don't do it. Be who you need to be. Be who you want to be. Be who you are.
Yeah. And again, Ninso said you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Michael Scott. I challenge that because, again, that's dichotomy thinking that you are this or you are that. No, you are both.
Both. Yeah.
You are more than both. You are all.
Yep.
And yet, fitting in none. Who knew I was going to say it? Anybody? So.
Me.
Yeah. Just, you are not limited. One of the first things I talk about when people come to me in mentorship and stuff, and they talk about feeling drained, when they talk about, Bixie's like, Cris, be serious when those hands start talking. I'm married and Italian, okay? One of the first things that I say when people start talking about, feeling drained and not worrying about psychic vampire stuff and oh god, like it just that kind of thing, like being tapped out, essentially looking at themselves as an energetic body who has a limitation. You are not a well. You are the rivers and the oceans themselves. You are not a well. You do not have a limit. That tree is just as much an arm on this earth as your body is.
Yep.
Stop believing that you are limited. Stop settling. Does a tree settle?
Nope. Also, Also, I have a blog post on working with the archetype of the Dark Queen, which is a villain archetype. So there is strength in villain archetype. There is no good and bad. There is everything in between. There are shades, basically, and lessons in everything. So box thinking doesn't help any of us. It really, really doesn't. To think we are one thing or another thing, or we can only be one thing or another thing, is basically cutting off our feet. It's like we're trying to stop ourselves from being able to run and be wild and free. And you are not,
because we've been told to try to stop ourselves.
You are not who they've told you to be.
Exactly.
You're not. My favorite quote of all time is, "You were wild once. Don't let them tame you." That's my favorite quote of all time. Don't let them tame you. Be wild. Be dangerous. Be a witch. Be yourself. Be yourself. And what
Random is saying, Random was getting on herself for being afraid and stuff. Like, Morgan told me, why didn't I tell her? You know, why didn't I believe her? And then she said, no, I'm allowed my fear to keep me back. I've allowed, I think is what she meant.
Well, you are your shadow keeper. So sit with it, talk with it, overcome it, walk with it. Stop being afraid of your power. Power is not a dirty word.
Can I just hold on? Because Random was like, I'm an idiot sometimes. And then everybody in the chat is like, no, you're not an idiot. No. When I said that we are everything, I meant it. Sometimes we're all an idiot.
Yep.
Sometimes we don't see the shit in front of us. And that's okay. That's the point.
Yep.
Don't sugarcoat.
Also,
it's okay. It's okay to overlook something. It's okay to walk that journey and miss a step. It happens.
So the connotation of idiot there is that you should not have made the mistake. You are meant to make the mistake.
Exactly.
The mistake is the lesson.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. We're not being very kind today.
We're not. Look, Wolfie has been in a mood this week.
Joey's been through hell, so.
And that's not to say you guys in there that are saying, no. Like, that's well placed. You guys have hearts of gold for that. But also, you don't need to pretty it up.
Sit with the real.
Truth is truth.
Sit with the real.
Truth is truth.
And there's nothing wrong with being wrong.
You are a very intelligent woman. I know you. You're a very intelligent woman. And you have amazing gifts. And you do hold yourself back. But we all do. And we all have amazing gifts. And we're all intelligent. But we're all uniquely us. And that's okay, dude. It's okay. We fuck up. We move on. We win. We fucking lose. Whatever you want to say. Win and lose again is dichotomy. But you get what I'm saying there is like, it's all the same shit. It's just walking that journey. It's just learning, growing, changing, death and rebirth. That's it. It's not good or bad. It is.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it.
Evolving. Yep. Spiral dance evolving, basically. Yeah. If you misstep, make it part of the dance.
And yeah, Gothic says, oh, Chris, I agree, but I don't think of idiot as the right word in this situation, though that's all. Like, missing a step doesn't equal idiot to me. Yeah, like I said, I was speaking more to the fact that everybody rushed to be like, no. Because earlier, I said, let's embrace this word, fact. And I said it unabashedly. Why? Because it's used in a derogatory way. But what is it? It's a fucking descriptor. That's it. I give it the power, not you. Everybody in chat. So what I'm saying is it's just a word. It's what you're trying to say with the word. And what she was trying to say with the word energetically was, no, how dare you tear myself down? And so you guys are like, no, don't tear yourself down. And that is right. Yes, I get that. But also, I'm pausing. Okay. But also, she does need to sit with the fact that you misstep, like Gothic said. You misstep. And that's okay.
Plus there's power, right? Okay. There's power in the part where you're like, I was a fucking idiot right there, right? What can I do? What can I think?
Yeah.
And when people are like,
right, you fucked that up.
The thing is, where it comes from a really good place, where people are like, no. The thing is, sometimes we need to sit with our idiocy, for lack of a better term, to empower who we are. To be like, I've decided that in this situation, I felt like an idiot because, and then why was I calling myself an idiot? Well, I was disempowering myself, which I shouldn't be doing. And I shouldn't be looking at this as a wrong way of reacting. Just I reacted and maybe it wasn't the true alignment to where I want to be. So I'll adjust my alignment and I'll do better next time. But so rather than it being like, no, I'm going to justify this, you can be like, no, I'm going to embrace this and take it to the next level. And then I evolve. Then I elevate.
Yeah, and people are saying I understood what Random meant by idiot. I use that word a lot. Yeah, so did I. I understood. But what I'm saying is, I also felt it.
Yeah.
Don't tear yourself down. Sit in it instead.
Yep.
That's all. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, Nani? You know what I'm saying. Random knows what I'm saying. Yeah. Confirmation is power. That's what Pixie said.
Plus, if we stop ourselves from being who we are, we might be denying the world of what it needs.
Yes, and that's my biggest thing. Like, have you ever thought about, like,
that was my ancestors.
But I have a client who I do intuitive spiritual mentorship with, and one day we were talking about some issues, and oh no, it wasn't her. It was someone else. My bad. Sorry. No, it was. You'll know who it was, Joey, because you were in this conversation. I realized. So
right.
They were talking about being openly pagan, and that within their family. Now, this is a very, very closed off family. In terms of religion, like we think just this way, and she is not that way. And she knew that she ran the risk, right, of being shunned, essentially. And something that came up is the fact that, did you ever think that by being you and living your truth fully, and I'm not saying everybody come out pagan, I'm just saying, like, this situation, did you ever think living your truth fully might be the gateway for others who come after you? That others down the line will see you doing that, see your example. How many of you watch Joey and see her speaking her truth and see her writing her blog post? Joey's like, why are you doing this? See her speaking her, her truth and uploading her blog post and basically presenting her wound on a silver platter for you and love her for it and are inspired by her, and then that causes you to then go and want to speak your truth.
That's why we do it.
Your role is bigger than you. You are a light for others. You are darkness for others. You are the stars in the night for others. You are the lantern that the hermit carries, which is something that I've been applying to myself lately.
You are the voice in the void.
Yes. That is a power that you shouldn't deny. You shouldn't be scared of that.
Because the world needs more of that, not less.
Yes, the world needs more.
We need more priests and priestesses and medicine men and medicine women and artists and dancers and people with who wear their soul on their sleeve. We need more of that.
Yes, Madam Fancy Pants, contagious truth. We need contagious truth. Live in your truth so that others may live in theirs.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you don't know the lives that you can affect sometimes. I've had people who told me that because I shared parts of myself which were difficult and sad and depressing, and you know, I wore my wounds open and cried my eyes out on camera on occasion.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that saved their life. I've had a couple of people in my entire time on YouTube who've come to me and said, I was suicidal. I thought I was all alone. I saw your video. I realized this is a heavy conversation, but you saved my life because somebody else was going through it. I am not alone.
Because in that moment, real touched real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still here. One of the many reasons, but those, when I have moments where I feel like the drama is getting too much and I feel like saying all and just leaving, I remember that.
Yeah.
That it's bigger than me. Sometimes, you know, it's bigger than the times my shadow is poked by individuals being badly behaved or nastily behaved, however you want to term it. And I remember that sometimes the words that we are chosen to speak, we're chosen mouthpiece for whatever needs to be said, or then that's bigger than us.
Yes.
And truth rings out because you can always spot people who are not living in their truth. You can always spot it. So live in your truth. It's important.
Yeah. And I think also some people will lash out of shadow. Oh no, we can talk about that too. But some people will lash out with their shadow and claim that it is truth.
Well, that's the shadow mask again that I was talking about.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that sometimes when someone is yelling that it's truth,
it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you can feel it. Look past the words.
Truth doesn't need to shout.
My great-grandmother came to me in spirit a long time ago, and one of the things she said is read between the words.
Mm-hmm.
Read between the words.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it. Mm-hmm. When it is truth, you will know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So regurgitation.
Yeah, regurgitation. Yeah, that. I knew there was something else. I was like, what did we just put on pause?
Regurgitation.
There's so many soapboxes.
So many soapboxes. Regurgitation in the spiritual community is an unfortunate side effect of the shadow of not being enough. I understand where the shadow comes from. I do not appreciate it, though. I don't appreciate the behavior one bit, because it's basically pretending to live in spiritual truth whilst taking someone else's spiritual truth, which is kind of the opposite of leading a spiritual true life. And it bugs me. It bugs me. And that's part of my shadow too. There is a bit of my shadow coming into it where I'm like, I am sick of people trying to just take parts of me and replicate it and pretend they're me, because that pisses me off. Yeah. But that's part of my shadow as well. So I have to be careful with that. Like, I know where my shadow is on that because of how I grew up and all the rest of it. And but spiritual regurgitation is a real problem, because if we are regurgitating what we have learned rather than what we have felt, it's not as true. I mean, the message can still be true, but by taking it from a place of falsehood, you're kind of taking away the power of the message. Like,
well, there's quite a difference between knowing something and knowing something.
Yeah.
You can know a bunch of stuff but not understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You can know a bunch of stuff and understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference.
Yeah. Plus, you're denying the world of your actual spiritual truth by regurgitating someone else's. So again, you are denying the world the gift of you.
Yeah. Sarah M says it's like the power of a ritual you wrote yourself versus one in a book. Well, that's actually funny because Joey and I don't really write them.
I come from a Celtic tradition, and the Celtic tradition generally states that writing down words of power can often take away from them. So me being a vocal witch, quite often I have a basic idea of what I want to do going into a ritual. So I might know which incense I want and what colors I want and, you know, that sort of thing. But then I just act as spirit dictates, because I find that if I box myself in, it all goes to hell and doesn't mean as much. But if I am feeling it rather than thinking it, which is what we've just talked about, it becomes something far deeper, far more in touch with that live wire of spirituality.
Yeah, I agree. But I will also say that I do get your sentiment though there. You know, that one tailor-made for you, one that is of soul versus one that is of someone else's soul.
I'm not saying that the way we do it is right, because for some people writing their own rituals and following that is right for them, and that's cool. But that's not the way that me and Cris do it. And that's
I basically light my stuff, call my things, and then, well, I don't even call them because they're already around. I honor them, you could say. I offer smoke. And then I do my shit. And half the time, anything that I say just comes to me, and it's whatever. I haven't pre-planned it.
Yeah.
Because it's more powerful for me.
Yep.
That doesn't mean for others, though. Yeah.
Yep. Truth is often individual. Well, truth is often subjective. It's a lot about perception.
Engagement says, I think I was guilty of that in my teens, and it's probably while I fell away from my practice for more than a decade.
Regurgitation. Yeah.
Yeah. She says, she went on to add that she's not like that now. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you're not connecting, it's no wonder that it fell away.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, like, I think that to some extent we all have this sort of phase when we're getting in it and we're looking at what we're told
the way to do it
should be.
Yeah,
the way to do it, and looking for that correct way, that right way, and then realizing somewhere along the line, like, but this isn't how I feel. And
I said I always argued with the books at school, so it was no different to spirituality to me. So yeah. But yeah, there is a very enforced right and wrong way of doing things, particularly in like Wiccan books, which is what we mainly have access to start with.
Yes. So it kind of starts out that way anyway. But one of the biggest things that I am, it kind of reminds me of this, is so when people want to approach a deity, or you know where I'm going. Yeah, when people want to approach a deity, or they want to, they're not sure if this message is from their ancestors. I'm looking for some clarity, and they message me, and I go, well, have you asked them?
Yep.
And they go, well, no. Okay, well then ask them. Why are you asking me? Ask them. Well, have you said hi? Well, no, I don't know how to. You say hi.
Yep. I say light a candle, ask the universe. That's what I say.
Or you can literally go, hello, Mama Morgan. Hello, hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about the respect and the truth you bring, not how you're. It's not your orchestrated dance.
It's in here,
script,
not out there.
To. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I'm gonna do 2 more minutes and then I gotta go because I gotta start getting ready for work and stuff. So
okie doke.
If you have any questions, Sarah's like, "Hey Jesus, it's me." Like, yeah, dude, do it. Why not?
If it costs you, sure.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier what we were doing for summer solstice.
I can't tell you in good conscience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a whole new life.
That's truth. Yeah. I am probably just gonna have a bonfire. That's what I do. Or just kind of hang out outside. Like I don't a lot like my rituals. I don't go in depth because I find depth in the simplistic because it's not really that simplistic.
Mm-hmm. Complexity within simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
All interwoven the same way that all things are interwoven.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I'm going to be getting a whole new life. There you go. I'm facing my fear for midsummer. That's what I'm doing. And leaping. I'll leap. Gladly.
That'd be great.
Yep. I'm really excited now.
Pixie do. The deities see through all bullshit anyways and know what's in your heart. Yeah. Just come to them honestly. Yeah.
Even the Morgan makes fun of me sometimes. She's like, shut up, Joe.
Oh, so Sarah just got your package in the mail.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It must have been one of the last packages I could send out before I could go.
Yeah.
You should have seen me trying to get things out before I had to leave. Cheese and crackers.
Oh, I saw you when you were like, okay, I have to go then, right? And I'm like, oh man, she's in full Virgo mode. Oh, yeah. Sarah's like, I'm not wearing pants, so my boyfriend had to go get it. Gothic Arcana says, thank you guys so much for this. I did not expect to feel all these feelings this morning, and now I'm off to ponder. You're welcome. Thank you guys for being here. I feel like we went beyond just the truth and the shadow. But
no. I think we're in truth, aren't we? No matter what we said.
True. Yeah.
All things lead back to truth anyway.
So, in short summary, come at me, bro, to the fear. Or no, come at me, bro, to people. Face
Rise
the
up.
fear.
Yep.
Sit in it. Don't fight it, but face it, sit in it, know it.
Yep. Raise each other up.
Accept all pieces of you. Hashtag raise. What was it? Hashtag raise each other up?
Raise each other up, yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag raise each other up. VR, guys. I want to see it. I want to see videos with you guys talking about the community and
how much you love me and Chris.
Yes, and how much. Yes, of course us. But no, other people like fucking raise each other up. Not just not just female, but male. Not just looks, but what have they inspired you with? What have they, what do you love when you see them? What lights up about them? What is the thing that you find beautiful about them?
And tag us in it so we see it. Tag us in it on like Facebook or whatever.
This is like a second wave of Be the Witchy Change. Random, I'll see you, girl. So like, raise each other up.
Yep. Hashtag raise each other up. Do it.
Don't compete. Complete.
Don't imitate. Also, elevate.
Yes, and then what was the other one? There was a hashtag like fuck your shadows or something.
Shadow keeper.
Yes, hashtag shadow keeper. Check your shadow. Yes. And also you are all beautiful. And
loved and worthy.
Yes.
And powerful.
Oh yeah.
Live in your power.
Far more powerful.
Live in your power.
And I won't say far more powerful than you understand, because the thing is that that's why you're scared. Because
then you
deep inside
allow.
know.
You're more powerful than you are allowing yourself to be.
Yes. More powerful than you are allowing. Yes, hashtag contagious truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line. I'm going to end it on this. I'm totally self-plugging here on my own fucking channel, but it's my channel, so I'm going to do that. But Joey, take it for a second, and I'll just.
Okay, I'll do my finishing closing statement, shall I? My closing statement to this argument. No, hang on. Basically, take care of yourself. Love yourself. Allow yourself to be who you are. Don't allow anyone else to tell you who you are or define you or put parameters on you, because you are expansive. You are boundless. You are the sea, the ocean. You are the universe in a drop. You know, you can be whoever you want to be, and nobody has the right to tell you who you are. So be who you are, expand who you are, evolve who you are, and live in your truth. That's what I would close up by saying. That was not enough. She's not found it yet.
Yeah, because I have like 50,000 places where this is. If people tuned in right now, they were like, did they do this for 2.5 hours?
Yes. Yeah. That's the entirety of this 2.5-hour video. You're welcome. I'm tired. It took a lot out of me to do this. Just to keep going with that one rhyme.
What is happening?
There was Kitty. Oh, I nearly said
there
something.
There was.
We haven't had enough balls, and that's the thing. I'm not saying that Cris has a dungeon and she brought pussy out for you all to see, but
you might be saying that.
I might be saying that. I am saying that. That's what happens. That's what happens. If you would like to book tickets to go to Chris's dungeon, deposits of $200 a piece.
No, yeah, that's
now taking bookings. She likes to spank when you're good. Hashtag spank when you're good.
I'm not taking bookings. I'm not taking bookings. Just
email her at Cris Ashman.
Oh fuck. Oh my gosh.
If you would like a custom-made collar for your dungeon trip, I can make that for you.
Yes, and if you'd like to get your balls made as well, you can message her.
I can do that, yeah. In 2 weeks.
Where is this thing? I don't know.
Can you paraphrase?
Probably. So it was the end of the One Blood thing that I did. And the ending pretty much is like, speak your truth so that others of One Blood can hear. But I'm going to shift it a little and say, speak your truth so that others who are other can hear. Because there's a little bit of other in all of us. That's all. That's all I say.
That's all. That's it. We're
You
done.
would have been more eloquent with it, but fine. Whatever.
But get out. Just leave. Just
I gotta go.
Oh, and again. Boobs again. Sorry. Every time
Oh dear.
That's twice on this computer. Sorry. I got excited again.
Yes, Juniper Moon. The hashtag is #raise each other up. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be looking for it.
I'll share that on Story Eyed Supplies as well as this video. If I can link everything with the iPad, that would be interesting. Work iPad, no.
Yeah.
My iPad is sentient and evil, just so you all know.
Oh, thank you, Crystal Moon. She said she likes my One Blood. Yeah, man. So I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but that's actually channeled.
Yeah.
That
and tag us all in those videos so we can see them. because I'd love to see them as well. I want to see them and comment on them and things. So
Yeah.
tag us.
Tag us, please. Please do.
Or send us an email and be like, we did it, here's the link. Or just send me the link. I'll be fine.
All of our links are below for those of you who don't know already. On Facebook, you can reach both of us. That's down there. That's probably
the best way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like send us the link to your video. Send us, you know, if you make a post about it or whatever. Like let me hear about it.
And I will share it on Story Yard Supplies Facebook page if you do it. If you send it me,
yeah, me too. I'll share it too.
I will advertise it for you guys, and then we are raising each other up.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go get ready. I love your faces. Thank you for being here. It was really nice to do a live chat again with you, Joey.
Oh, we're gonna do plenty once I'm settled again.
Oh.
I will have someone hovering in the background, but we will do it.
Well, yeah. But at times he's probably going to be in here too.
Oh, he'll probably be he'll just sit on my knee and be like, right, I'm involved now. And I'll be like, okay.
Hello.
Yeah. I have things to tell you about this.
I'll have a Dr. Killinger sitting here and you'll have him sitting to the side. Yeah. And we'll both just be staring into the camera at each other.
Why can I see that happening?
Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you guys. I love your faces. I'm going to go now. Check out our links below if you haven't. And share this video with anyone that you feel needs to hear it.
Raise each other up.
Hashtag raise each other up. All right. Back to your faces.